Hey guys, how you doing? Julie Belcher with Nothing is Wasted Designs, and come on in. I have a very unplanned project tonight. I'm just basically going to play with some textures. I've been wanting to take some stencils and kind of like a raised look. So I've got a variety of different things here. I've got some lightweight spackling, which I have been wanting to play with. I have molding paste that has a medium texture, semi-opaque acrylic satin finish. I have some glass bead gel that I want to try. Extra heavy molding paste and light molding paste. And boy, there's a big difference. This one is definitely a lot dense. You can tell by the weight of these. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do. So I'm going to take my, I have what's called, let me show you the front of this. I have what's called a mixed media pad, okay? And the size of this one is 11 by 14 inches. And I haven't actually opened it in a while, so I thought I wanted to come over here. And I've got these little cups. I thought maybe that I can add some paint to them. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do, y'all. So maybe the first thing that I can do is, all right, hang on a minute. Do I want to paint this? Or do I want to leave it white? I'm not sure, okay? Y'all, I am like totally, maybe we'll go with, all right, so I want something that's going to be high contrast. And I don't think I want to saturate this with paint. But what I could do, I've got this stuff here too. So I have so many different things that I want to try, and I'm going to take, I'm going to take a plastic palette knife, and let's do this, okay? Let me do this. Let me take, I think I'm going to go with just a light beige. This is called the color Burlap. And then this way, ooh, this is thick. All right, let me get a stick, and we're going to put some water in here, and we're going to stir it, and we're going to see what we get. Okay, this is Dixie Belle's Chalk Mineral Paint, and I'm going to just get, there we go. I thought I had one of these that had been used. Maybe not. All right, so we're going to come on in here. Going to stir this up. And we're going to get it just a little bit thinner. How's everybody done? Did you had a good day? How's your day gone? Mine's been kind of quiet. And I got my, let me show you all this. I finished the card that I did yesterday. This is what I made yesterday. Remember that we did the On the Farm card? And then what I did was I put some black cardstock on the back of it. So, and I have some, I also have some, what's it called? Scrapbook paper here. So I haven't decided if I'm going to pull some of that out or what we're going to do. But I'm going to just get a neutral background here. Whoa. I'm going to do that. And we're going to see what happens. Now, the stencil that I'm going to be working with is from one of my favorite companies, Essential Stencil. And, all right, so let's get a paintbrush. I'm going to paint this. I don't want to put a whole lot of paint on this, but just enough to give it a different color background. And let me get my brush wet. I'm going to get my brush wet, y'all. Get my brush wet so that this will spread a little bit easier. And let's see what happens here. Okay. Get my brush wet some more. Just so that we can see some variation in the texture. All right, I'm going to spray the paper, and we're going to put this on here. Just so that we can, because all of these molding pastes, glass beads, all of that stuff that I'm going to be working with is white. So I want just a little bit of something to have some contrast. Okay, all right, this should be good. We should be able to get this done from here. I think we'll be able to. All right, so when you want to play and you don't want to have to worry about what your project is going to look like in the end, get yourself a mixed media tablet, any size, and just take the time to see what you're going to get. All right, so here we go. All right, so we've got that. I'm going to put this in my water over here, and I don't think I'm going to need this anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get this and we're going to put this away. Throw this away. Actually, let me push this down. All right, here we go. All right, I don't think I'm going to need this again. So I'm going to go ahead and just get that out of the way. Grab another paper towel. Let that dry, and let's go ahead and get this dry. And we're going to see what we're going to be able to do with these different textures. Good possibility that this could curl on me, but that's okay, because I'm after what the textures are going to give. This is an inexpensive way to kind of play around with some different mediums without feeling like you have to be committed to a project. And I'm drying both sides of this because there is some moisture that is soaked into the paper. All right, there we go. And you know what? I think I better put an apron on, y'all. I think this is a good time for me to put an apron on. So let me do that. Kind of tangled up in my cord over here. I don't know how that happened. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm going to put this off to the side. I'll use that again some other time. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this brick. I've been wanting to do brick, y'all. So I'm going to take this brick, and I don't even really have to, I'm going to kind of turn this sideways so that I can reach it. I don't even have to do the whole thing. I'm probably only going to do half of it just so that I can get an idea of what's going to happen with this. And I think that the first thing that I want to try, because I've been wanting to try this spackling, lightweight spackling. And so I'm probably just going to do like half of this. So let's see how this works. I have no idea. I don't know, am I supposed to stir it or what? Looks like it's, maybe I'm supposed to stir this. Here, let me put some in this little cup here. Seems like I should stir this. This is all new to me, so we will see. I would like to get into like fake, what is it called? Fake food or fake bake. I think that would be fun. And I've seen people work with this. But I also want to do, I want to kind of move towards a, like a mixed media. And so this is kind of like the beginning of me working towards working with mixed media. All right, here we go, y'all. Let me go ahead and let me put some tape down just to keep this in place. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm gonna just take and, let me see, I think I wanna go this way. And I'm gonna hold this down and just see what this is gonna do. This is what I've been wanting to play with for some time, and today is the day. All right, so all I'm doing is taking and scraping this palette knife over this. All right, it's pretty easy if you keep everything. If you keep the palette knife parallel. All right, parallel to your stencil. All right, let's see what we get. Are we going to get bleeding or what? All right, so let's go ahead and pull this up. I want to wipe these off. I don't want this to dry on here. Let's see what we get, y'all. All right, well, that's pretty cool. All right, so we've got those bricks there. All right, so let me wipe this off of here. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back. Actually, you know what? Let's see what happens if we add some paint to this. So I don't need as much as I thought I did. So I'm gonna add a little bit of paint to this. Hey pumpkins, how are you? Let's add a little bit of paint so that it kind of looks like bricks. Maybe. It's a little pink, so let's add a little bit more in here. I don't know if this will ruin this or not. We're going to find out here in a minute. A little more burgundy than it is brick-like. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of black to this to darken this. This is a good time to play with, all right, I'm only going to put like 2 dots of black in here. I want to darken this up, kind of like working with a cake mix. Boy, that's really dark. Didn't need it that dark. I should have only put a half of a drop in there. All right, let's put some more of this in here because this is like way too dark. Let's see what we get. All right, this is more brick-like. Still a little bit dark. But we're gonna go with this and see what happens. Okay, that's pretty dark. This is what we have. It's pretty dark, but let's go with it. All right, so I'm going to take and let's dry this. Let's see how well this dries. All right, that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and let's cover this back up here. And let's do the bottom half of this now. All right, let's take this and we're gonna run this over top. I just wanna kind of practice working with this. And I thought that, you know, it'd be good for y'all to come online and kind of see what I'm doing so that when you go to play with it, you can pick up where I left off. All right, we're gonna get Just kind of run this across here. And you're really, okay, so what I'm finding out is you're just making sure that your palette knife is running pretty much right across the top of where the stencils are, or where the stencil is. Letting that be your guide. All right, let's lift this up and see what we have. Let me wipe my knife off. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, all right. Check it out. So we've got us some bricks here. I like that. Okay. This is the white. So now I know that we can color the spackling. All right. So let's get that out of the way and let's try another medium here. Let's see if I can get this on here. Boy, I almost need a pair of pliers to snap that on there. I guess that's so that it stays nice and dry and doesn't dry out. All right, so we've got that color. Let's take and we're gonna wipe this off. We're gonna get it wet. I'm hoping that we're gonna see how this cleans up. So there are a lot of things that we have to test. We have to test how does it dry, how does it work with, how does it clean up? Okay, it cleans up easy. This is good. This is good. This is what we want. It's not gonna dry in the, all right, you wanna make sure you get the back too. This is kind of like a Friday night almost, because what we want to do is we just want to play with this and see. Okay, so I've got a little bit of this left. Hey Deb, I'm just playing tonight. I'm trying different mediums and different textures. The first thing that I just tried is this is called Fast and Final Lightweight Spackling. I've seen a lot of people use it, but I have never used it myself, so I'm giving it a try to see what happens. All right, so let's go ahead and let's see how we're gonna dry this that we put paint on. Move this over. So we've got just some plain spackling. We've got some with paint. Now let's go in here and let's go with some light. This is called light molding paste, lightweight, opaque, acrylic texture medium. All right, so we're going to do the same thing again. I'm going to just kind of come down here, and I'm going to take this light. Actually, I want to move this down just a little bit more. All right, and let's see what this does. Okay, this is nice and light, very light. I'm going to hold this down so that I make sure that there's no space between. All right. I think I'm getting the hang of it, y'all. I think I'm going to be I hope I'm going to be a quick learner with this, because I've been wanting to do some stuff with, I really want to reach out and do some mixed media. All right, so this is light spackling. We just want to make sure that we go right up against the, all right, so that's the light. And you know what? I'm going to write this down so that I know what is what later. All right, so this is light molding. This is spackling with paint. And this is spackling. I don't know if I'm spelling it right or not. Let me see, how is this with a CK? It is a CK. Okay, I spelled it wrong. All right, so we've got that. Now what I want to do, all right, so that's the lightweight. So let's take some of the, what do we have here? Semi-opaque texture medium. All right, let's try this one. And see, ooh, this is different. This is way different. All right, so I'm going to kind of skip a line. This has got kind of a gray look to it. And let's skip a couple of lines and see what we get. All right, I like this. I'm liking it. And I'm going to come across this way. Do a little bit more. So I think the way to do this is to get more than you need so that you're keeping your knife, your palette knife, up against that. All right, so this is semi-opaque acrylic texture medium molding paste. All right, and we're going to lift that up. Let's lift this one up. Oh, I think I like that, the molding paste the best so far, y'all. All right, again, let me go ahead and wipe this off because I have heard people say that you do not want to let this dry on your stencils and everything because it may not come off. So let me grab a paper towel. Ooh, I'm really liking that, molding paste, y'all. So far, that's the texture I think I like the most. So let's wipe this off. You're going to want to get in the habit of, if you're working with these molding pastes, you definitely want to get in the habit of, all right, let me get a clean towel, of wiping these off. All right, here we go. Make sure you got this, okay. And I'm going to do the back side. You want to do both sides just like you're cleaning a stencil, because that's what this is. And you want to make sure that the holes stay nice and clean. Okay. All right. So far, I like the molding paste look the best. The spackling with the paint is pretty good, but this one, all right, let me see if I can hold this up for y'all. All right, you see this? Can you see how the bricks are more defined in this one? And then up here, there was some bleeding. This one wasn't so bad. This is the light. It's not quite as thick. This is my favorite so far. So let's dry this and see what we get. Let's see how long it takes for it to dry. Because if it takes a long time to dry, that's not going to be a, hey Kimmy, that's not going to be a candidate for working on lines. I mean, it'll be something that I could do off camera, but it won't necessarily be something that I can do on camera. The light spackling, it dried pretty quickly. All right, so the next thing that I think that we need to do, see what this is going to do. This is my favorite so far. All right, so the next thing that I think that we need to do is we need to, all right, I don't want to use any more of this. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this out of here. If I can clean this out of here and reuse this cup. No, it's not going to happen. All right, we're going to just throw this away because I don't think I'm going to use that again. But what I want to do is I want to take the where is it? I want to take the molding paste. I got another one of these little cups. And I want to put a little bit in here. And I want to add some paint to it to see if we can color this. And I'm going to just use the same color. I don't think I need that much, but here we are. I think I'm going to use the same color that I used up here just to use this as a comparison. Hey, Kelly. For those of you that are just hopping on, what I'm doing tonight is I'm playing with a variety of different molding paste because I'm kind of working towards wanting to work with, like do some mixed media. And one of the things that I want to be able to do is to add some stencils and some raised effects and things like that. So I just got through working with the golden molding paste, this stuff here, and I want to see how well this is going to color. Now, this paste is causing this to be a little bit lighter shade, so I'm going to add a little bit more paint and see what that does. And I may need some more molding paste. We'll see. I'm just going to kind of stir this. I think this will be good. It's not very dark, but that's okay. I'm thinking maybe I think instead of adding black, maybe adding a little bit of brown to this. What is this? This is a dark chocolate. Let's add just a drop of brown in here. Now, since this is brown, since this is red, I could add green to darken it also. All right, let's see what we got with this. And I don't know what the drying time for this is, but we're gonna play with this and see. All right, let me put the lid on this so this doesn't dry out. I think we've got enough of this. And I'm gonna come back around and I'm gonna take this and we're gonna put this on here and see what we get. We're only after just an experimentation here. All right, I'm gonna hold this down and want to make sure that it's flat up against the paper. Whoops, you don't want to go off of your stencil either. That's not a good thing. All right, let's see what we get here. Just kind of going flat against this. This is the one that I like. This is the paste that I like the best so far. And I don't know, whoops. And I would have a flatter surface. I would be working on like a canvas panel or something like that. So I wouldn't have to be worrying about the paper peeling up or anything. All right, let's see what we got here. We got just a little bit left in here. All right, let's see what we got. It's a little thin, a little bit thinner than I like. I like that first, so I have to decide if what I want to do is to maybe put less paint in it and use a darker paint. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to wipe this up, make sure we get this clean. And notice that I'm using the same stencil each time because, you know, anytime you experiment, you want to keep the variables as low, the amount of changes that you make different. I mean, you want to keep the amount of changes low. All right, so we're going to wipe that off, and then we're going to wipe the back side of this off. And then we're going to get another paper towel. Now, some of the error in this could also be that, that I'm moving kind of quickly and I'm working on a curled surface. All right, so let's get this clean. I've still got some more surfaces that I mean some more textures that I want to play with. Let's see how we do with drying this. This is pretty dry. Hey, Kathy, come play with me. I like this, what was this? This was the spackling with paint, the light molding paste. This is the molding paste. This seems to be drying okay. This is the molding paste with paint. This one came out this one came out the best of all. Those metal rings got hot with this heat drying. My favorite so far. All right, I'm going to put that down there. Turn this over, make sure it's nice and clean, and it is. All right, we're going to throw this one in the trash. I should have got more of these little cups. All right, so the next one. So far, this is my winner. Okay, this is golden molding paste, semi-opaque, acrylic texture medium, with a satin finish. Okay, this is the one I like the best. All right, the next one I'm going to try is, this is a gel mat. That's not what I want. Let's see what this is. This is this is just a Liquitex flexible molding paste. So we might try that one too. Let's see what this one is. That's a gloss gel, so we don't want that. That's something different, and that's gesso, and we don't want that. Okay, so that brings everything out that I have, but I have one more thing too. All right, so let's try. We've got 3 things left to try. So one of them that I want to do, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this sideways, and we'll do this way. Okay, so let's try. This is glass bead gel, glass beads. I've seen other people work with this. I've never worked with it. So let's give it a go and see what we get. And we're going to just run this across. I'm almost inclined to think that, I thought that working with the, this is awful thin. I thought that working with the mixed media pad was the right thing to do, but I'm kind of changing my mind. I think we needed a flatter surface than this. All right, so we're going to let that go. That one will be there. And then the next one we're going to do is going to be an extra heavy molding paste. So let's go ahead on in here and see what happens with this. All right, this is different from, okay, it is thicker. Okay, so let's bring this down here. And like I said, if you were on like a what do you call it? A canvas panel, you wouldn't have to hold it like this. All right, this is the heavy. So let's see what we get with that. I like that one. I like these, okay? I like the, what's it called? The glass beads. And I actually like the heavy stuff. All right, so let's clean off our palette. Whoops, I need to put this back in here. Let's clean off our palette. All right, so what am I getting from all of this? I'm getting that I'm liking this, and I'm going to be moving forward and be doing some mixed media stuff, and which means that I'll probably make some mistakes with it, but I at least feel like I'm out of the gates, and that there are some things that I'm going to be able to do with these. So I'm kind of excited about this. Like I said, just make sure that you clean off your stencils and you clean off your palette knife. All right, let's put that in the trash. Get another one of these out. Now you could put this in a pan of water to clean it also. All right, put that over here. Get that out of the way. Wipe this off. Okay, so that's all nice and clean. Let's get this dry. I've never worked with the glass beads before. This is kind of fun. It's like as it dries, there's like an iridescent kind of look to it. It's like the paste dries, but the glass beads that are in it are starting to, that's kind of neat looking. I like that. I wonder what it looks like if we add some paint or something to it. Should we try that and see? Pretty cool. All right, I like the glass beads. So far, I like the molding case and the heavy molding case and the glass beads. I'm not a real fan of the spackling. I don't think that did as well, but it could be the background that I have it on too. I don't know how to describe it. There's definitely like little beads, and I'm thinking that the glass beads might be a good substitute for what's it called? Diamond dust. All right, let's put that off. Let's see how we have how this did. I'm not quite sure if that's dry or not. All right, so let me label these, the new ones that we put in here. So this is glass beads. This is heavy molding paste. This one over here is molding paste with paint. Acrylic paint. Okay, then this is molding paste. I'm liking these glass beads, y'all. All right, so let's try, I think, what's the last one that I have? That's the extra molding. That's the glass beads. All right, so now what I have is one last thing it looks like I have. This is just flexible molding paste, and this is by Liquitex. So one is golden, one is from, all right, let me get a clean piece of tape. One is from Liquitex, and I don't know if there's going to be any difference with these or not. What did I do with my tape? Oh, there it is, right here where I can see it. Do y'all do that? When you're working that you got stuff right in front of you and you can't find it? All right, so let's come in here. I'm going to try and get a good solid spot here. And so the other thing that, uh-oh, gosh, this is really thick. I don't know if it's supposed to be this thick or not. No, I don't think it is. I think some of it dried, y'all. Aw. Well, stink. All right, I'm gonna use it anyway. This is like really thick. All right, here we go. All right, so let's go. I think the idea is to get a good amount, run it across, and then come back, scoop it off, Just kind of like when you're painting, you don't put the paint sparsely on your brush. All right, and then you get this, and we're going to wipe that off. This is pretty thick. You get some more down in here. The stuff down in the bottom is smoother. I think that the way that lid popped off, that it may have not been. All right, let's see what we have. All right, that's nice and smooth. All right, what is this up top here? Oh, that's like rock hard there. All right, I'll deal with that offline. So, well, shucks, because I've hardly used this. All right, let me get another paper towel. Wipe this off. We don't want it to dry on here. I have been told that it does not come off. Oh, that's kind of nice. I like that. Can y'all see that? I like that. That one, wow, that one turned out really good. All right, so let me spray this with some water. See if we can get this off of here while it's still wet. All right, this comes right off without any trouble at all. Kind of messy, but it's good. So let me get another paper towel. I'm going to take this tape off because once it gets wet, it's not any good. Okay. So far, the winner for me is, I like the Liquitex, y'all. I do. I like the Liquitex. All right, let me get this palette knife clean. All right, when I turn the page, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with some of these colors that I have. Love this glass mat. If any of you do a lot of crafting and you're not happy with the bottom surface that you have, you will love having a glass mat. It is the only thing that I have been able to find that I can keep clean. I tried cardboard. I tried, cutting mats. This glass mat that I have, you can cut on it, you can paint on it, you can use ink pads on it. It's pretty versatile. So, hey Amanda, good to see you. Just kind of playing with a whole bunch of different textures tonight to see what I like, what I want to play with, what I want to keep, what I will use more often than others. So far, the Liquitex, what's it called? Molding paste is my favorite. That one really did well. All right, so I've got my stencil clean. So now what we're going to do is we need to make sure our palette knife's clean, and let's dry the Liquitex. The molding paste for golden, this was this one here. And let me dry this and then I'll hold it up for you. All right, the Liquitex is my favorite so far. And it's okay. So maybe what we'll do, I'm just thinking, I brought a kind of a neutral scrapbook. It's a pad of scrapbook paper. All right, let's see what happens when this dries. These are kind of semi-opaque. This one's almost translucent. And so I guess unless you're going to put paint in them, that'll be the next thing that we'll have to play with, is how do they take paint, right? Because we're not going to want white bricks. See what we got? I'm going to hold it up for y'all in just a minute. I can tell that the top layer is dry, but the bottom layers are not, because it's moving around. Never quite seen that before. kind of tells me is that I may have to make sure that stays because it gets hot. I may have to, like if I'm working with the Liquitex molding paste, I may have to do that, like let it sit overnight. All right, let me bring you all in a minute. All right, hold still. I know I hate moving it because it's like loud. And all right, so this is what we did. Okay, all I did was I first I painted the background just like a beige color so that I would have some kind of contrast here. And then this one here was the Fast and Final lightweight spackling. I've seen a lot of people use this. This is okay, you know, but it's not very raised. Then I added paint to that, which made it thinner, which made it bleed. Then I tried the golden, this is the lightweight molding paste. This one here is the lightweight molding paste. And then this is the molding paste. This is the molding paste with paint, which made it run. And then we turned it off to the side. And let me see if I can get these, these glass beads to, you see how it's got kind of a shimmer? Y'all can't see the, it's shimmery. And then this one down here was the heavy molding paste. And then on this side, look at that, y'all. Look how good that one turned out. I think this is the winner. This one here is the Liquitex, hang on. This is Liquitex Flexible Molding Paste. Liquitex Flexible Molding Paste. And I need to write that down on here. All right, that's the glass beads. I'm going to draw an arrow. The heavy molding paste, I'm going to draw an arrow. And this is Liquitex. Y'all can't see what I'm doing because I brought you in. Let me pull you back. This is Liquitex modeling paste. I don't think I spelled modeling right. I didn't. I said molding paste, modeling paste. All right, this is my favorite. Now, I think it's going to depend on, you know, what we actually are going to use these for. So let's turn the page. Okay, we got an idea of what does what. All right, let me draw an arrow here, an arrow there, an arrow there, an arrow here, and an arrow there, so that when I come back, so what I'm doing is I'm just taking a mixed media pad and just playing with it. Let's see if I can find some. So you can see there's some things that I've just played with color just to see what was going to happen. See if there's anything else in here. I practice. I'm trying to learn how to draw leaves, so I just took a page and was practicing drawing leaves. I wanted to play with clouds, so I bought this stencil for cloud makers, and I just did a page of clouds just to see. And then by practicing on this, when I got ready to make this here, I had already practiced it. So you see the clouds, that's the same stencil that I used when I was practicing in my mixed media pad. So I highly recommend that if you don't have one of these. Okay, these are some colors. I was playing with color here, just adding different things. I don't even remember what I did because I don't think I wrote anything down. But okay, and then raindrops. This is where I wanted to learn how to draw raindrops. So I came over to my mixed media pad, and let me see if I can find my raindrop thing that I made. And where did it go? Oh, I don't see it. It's tucked away in here. But I was going to throw it away, and I thought, no, I'm not going to throw it away because it had some good things on there. I don't see it. It turned out pretty neat. Let's pull this out of here and see if that'll give me some more room to find it. So the other thing that I did for raindrops is, I don't know if y'all saw the video that I did, but if I'm trying to do something that's in nature, I'm going to look at what God did, and I'm going to pay attention. You know, I'll look up YouTube videos, and boy, my eyes are all of a sudden, my glasses must be dirty. I'll look at what God does, and then I'll pay attention to how those things play out. Oh, I wish I could find my raindrops that I did, because that was pretty neat. Oh well. But so one day when it was raining, what I did was I took a video of the raindrops running down the window in the car while I was sitting in the car. And so that was pretty cool. But you can see these are, you know, this was a rough draft of what I started with. And let's see what else. Oh, here we go. Here's some flowers that I've, you know, that I'm starting. I haven't done this painting yet, but this is a painting that of a class that I took. And, you know, just trying some different things, trying to go outside what I already know. And, you know, and then here's some different colors showing how when you start with certain colors, if you're not careful, you're going to go to mud, and how not to go to mud, how to go to mud if you want mud. And then, of course, here's some glass beads. I must have done something with glass beads up here. That's kind of cool looking. All right, this was a painting that I did with balloons. I took not a balloon, like a Ziploc bag, and put water in it and dipped it in paint. And then I ended up that was my practice. And then this was the piece that I did. And so it's just, I don't know, it's a lot of fun because you give yourself the room to just try stuff without any expectations of this needs to turn out right. All right, so I want to do a couple more things. I'm going to come in here with the same brick, and I want to play with, this is Simon Hurley's Lunar Paste. Okay, and I want to try to see how the bricks look with this. All right, let me keep I better put my pen where it goes in my drawer, and then that way I'll be able to find it when I need to look for it, right? And for this, I'm not going to worry about painting anything. The surface, the background surface. I just want to see how this is gonna play. And this is another one of those mediums that you want to clean it up right after you use it, because it'll dry hard and it'll dry right on your stencil. But I just want to see how this ends up doing. It looks like I'm going to need to get like a whole bunch on here. All right, I think this is the ticket, y'all. Is you get a whole bunch on here, and then just kind of scrape it off. All right, and then we're going to put this in here. We're going to lift this up. We're going to wipe this off, and it'll clean up fine if you do it right away. All right, let's see what we got. Oh my gosh, yes. All right, let me clean this up. I'll show you real quick, and then I want to clean this up. Look at that. All right, I'm going to bring that back in a minute. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, I think, all right, this is going to be a close first or second here, y'all. All right, we're going to put some water on here so we can clean this up. This has got a sheen to it, so this might be something that that I want to keep on the list. Let me see. Get another paper towel. I have like a whole case of these paper towels that we got from BJ's. And okay, this one stains this a little bit, but I don't care about staining. As long as you get it clean out of the part where the holes are, that's what matters. All right, so that one, I like that. And that one may be a keeper. So what I think I want to do, all right, so that's all nice and clean. See if this is going to come clean. Looks like it's going to stain this, but I'm not worried about the stain as long as it's clean. All right, so there we go with that. And let me just show you how clean this is now. We can do both sides. You want to make sure that when you're cleaning your stencils, you clean both sides. All right, we're going to put this out of the way. And we're going to put these in the trash. All right, let me bring this up. And if I remember right, it's been a while since I've worked with the lunar paste. If I remember right, this stuff dries pretty quickly. This is beautiful. Wow. I really like this. This is a I think, okay, so if I didn't have the lunar paste, I would probably use the extra heavy molding paste. But if I were going to do bricks, I would use this lunar paste. And this is the color Bee Sting. It's pretty dry. I'm going to show y'all. Got a little hot and made it start bubbling. All right, so if I were going to use, when I use this like in a real life situation, I would put tape all around the edges if I'm going to go to the edge, and that will keep that from running off. All right, so let me show you what we got here. Look at that. Can you see the sheen in that? There you go. See the sheen in that? Wow. Okay, there's your bricks right there, y'all. All right, so let me write this down. So this is lunar paste, Bee Sting. And this is an essential stencil. And we're going to just say bricks. Now, this particular set comes with 4 other, wow, I like that. Okay. This is, all right, this is number 1, y'all. This is number 1. Extra, no. The next one is the Liquitex modeling paste. If I didn't have the Bee Sting, I would use the Liquitex modeling paste. That would be my number 1. My number 2 would be the golden extra heavy molding paste. The glass beads is in a category all to itself because that's if you want to add some shimmer and shine and stuff like that. So this is like number 1 in its own class. How would I compare this to Diamond Dust? I wouldn't even compare it. Diamond Dust is in a league all of its own. But the glass beads don't cut you. And the thing that I have against the Diamond Dust is I'm not very mobile and I can't get down on the floor to clean things up, and I don't need to step on glass. I can't even reach my feet to get my the glass out of them. All right, so if I'm doing bricks, this would be my number 1 go-to. It would be the lunar paste, and I can't remember how much I paid for this, but I can give you an Amazon link if you're interested. But look at that. All right, let me pull this in so y'all can see this a little bit better. Can you see? Look at that. See how it shines? That is not, okay, let me go back a page so that y'all can see that it's not just because I'm holding it a certain way. Oh, did I skip a page? I must have. All right, so let's do this. See this? No matter how, look at this one here, okay? No matter how I do the lighting on that one, you're not gonna get any reflection because there's no shine to it. It's completely matte. Likewise down here. All right, let me turn this over. Okay? Little bit of reflection, but not much, okay? Not much. And then we'll go back over to, I skipped a page. That's all right, I'll fill in. Let's go back to the lunar paste. Y'all, this is just pure sheen. You can see that, and look at in between the bricks. Look how I did in between the bricks. Nice, clear, crisp, and it's soft. It's really pretty cool. Okay, so if I'm doing bricks, the lunar paste is what I'm gonna do. Now, so should we try, let's just try, just for kicks, let's take one of these neutrals. Let's do this one here. Let's take this sheet of paper. Okay, this is gray, 20 designs, 3 each. I got this from Hobby Lobby for $3. It was on sale. And I mean, look at all this paper, y'all. And these are all neutrals. These are all neutrals. All right, so we know that we like, all right, let me see how I want to do this. Okay, these are the other stencils that come in this package. It's kind of like, this is like a burlap. That's kind of fun. This one here is like the grain of wood. This is like a crackle. That's kind of fun. I might do something with this one too. Let's just take, maybe we'll play with some of this lunar paste. And then this is, I don't know what this is, like bubbles or something maybe. Looks like, I don't know, like something fell on the floor wet. I don't know what this is, but kind of paint splatters. What do y'all think that is? All right, so we're gonna pull this out. I should have brought, some other paper, but just for fun, I'm gonna put some of these bricks on here, but I'm gonna put them kind of cattywampus. All right, let's do this. We're going to do just a few bricks on here just to see. And you know, I may end up doing something with this later, but let's just go with this and see what we get. Okay? So let me get y'all in the screen here, and I'm going to just go, oh, you know what I have, which would be even better. Oh, well. Oops. I have Simon Hurley's. He's got a bigger kind of squeegee-like thing that I could have done this with. All right, let's just see what happens with this. So we're going to clean it up because we want to clean it up right away. Okay, we're going to lift this up. Oh my goodness, yes, 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 yes. Oh my gosh, y'all are gonna love this. Oh, I just drug it across the corner of that. All right, let me show you what I have. Look at that. Kind of looks like a wall on the side, right? All right, so we're gonna come in here. We're gonna clean this up. We're gonna go ahead and spray some some water on this so it doesn't dry. Spray this on my palette knife. Where is my, oh, there it is. I brought it over there. All right, here we go. We're going to wipe this off of here. Turn this over. Actually, I could probably do this right on this mat. That's what this mat is supposed to be for. Just clean it up. Turn it over. Oh my gosh, y'all, I love this. So this is kind of what I've been wanting to get around to doing. All right, let me show y'all what we have here. All right, so all I did was take the, and you know how it's like we need to like put something on the wall, like I think of in terms of like graffiti or something like that. But you know what? We could probably come down here and do maybe another one of those. But this time, I'm gonna show y'all a new tool. I brought this over here, but I didn't use it. This is like a great big, and I can just take and do this all in one swoop. So let's do that. So we're gonna tape this down again. And I'm kind of thinking, kind of down here, going off the edge. I may not stop tonight. Y'all may have made it so that I want to keep going. Because this is where I really want to get to, is doing the, all right, I need to, hold on a minute. All right, so I need to put a piece of tape down here at the end so that I don't go off the edge. There we go. All right, here we go, y'all. This may be my favorite color yet. And you can use this thing here, but let's see if we can, let's see what this guy does. Let's see. Oh, yeah. And just kind of drag it. This kind of catches everything all at the same time. Right, now I'm going to take and I'm going to just kind of wipe this up and stick it down here. And we're going to come, whoops. This gives it a larger area. Okay, and then we'll take this and we'll scoop it up. I used quite a bit of this, but I've had this a while and I haven't done anything with it, so now's a good time, right? All right, so we're going to lift this up. We're going to clean our stuff. We got to clean it right away. And we're going to lift this up. Oh, yeah. Okay, I got it off onto the paper, but that's okay because this is we can actually put some spots on there. So it kind of looks like broken walls. And we're going to come over here and we're going to clean this. I'm going to spray all of this down so it doesn't dry. And get to this right away. Get a clean paper towel. Go through a lot of paper towels. All right, you want to wipe this up. Clean up your tools. How many of y'all have one of these glass mats? I'm telling you, I love mine. Look at that, you know? Now, if I had cardboard, I'd have a big mess here. And that's what I found. I still use cardboard for a lot of things, but I can't use it for everything because sometimes it's just too hard to clean. All right, here we go. I'm gonna get another paper towel. I imagine you could get like a rag or something, but I just find that the paper towels are easier because I can just toss them. All right, this cleans up nice and easily without any issues. The key is that you want to, oh, there's a mosquito. It's coming after me. They find me no matter where they are. Missed it. All right, so we're going to get this. So this is a, I don't know what you call this thing. Anyway, this is a Simon Hurley, whatever it's called. And, I mean, you could go to the hardware store and probably pick something up like that, like a spatula type thing. All right, we're going to get this cleaned up. All right, so far, this is what we have. And what we could do, okay, see how it's got like spots of this? We could we could come in here and we could intentionally add like some goop spots on there. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm gonna hold off on adding anything else to that right now. Hold on. We're going to dry this. Wow. I feel like I need to put a third one over here. Sorry. Feel like I need to put one right in there. What time did I come on? 6:30? Okay, good. Alright, so what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to find some other things that that I can add to this. So I think what I'm going to do, you think I should put a third one on here before I get off, or should we just call it a day? I like this. I like this. I feel like I should have something right in here. But I'm going to wait and see. I'm not going to fill that space in yet. And I'm going to put this back in here. So this is Lunar Paste in the color Bee Sting. You know, and the other thing is I believe I've got that color. Hold on. I think I have. Yeah, Bee Sting. I also have this in a matching color. So, you know, I mean, I could even take this stencil. All right, let me dry this off because it's wet. So I intentionally wanted the gray background because I wanted something that was, this has got a little bit of a spot right here. I'm going to get off. A little bit of a spot there. I'm going to get it while it's still young so that I can keep my stencils in good condition. That's kind of it's really important that, you know, you take a little bit of extra time on the front end, and these stencils will pretty much last you forever, unless you melt them or cut them or something. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here. I'm going to go back and I'm going to show y'all. Okay, this is what we put on here. I think that the next time I come on, I want to do something with multimedia, and I don't know what that means. Okay, in other words, I'm not quite sure how that's going to play out. But let me show you. Let me just go over the different things that we've already done. And this is kind of like you watch me play tonight. All right, I'm going to bring this in so y'all can see what we have. Okay. All right, so This here was, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to actually show you. This was the lightweight, fast and final, DAP spackling, okay? That's what this first one is right here. And you can see it did okay. It didn't do bad. I think I could probably do better now that I know that you need a big scoop of it. All right, then this one here is the spackling with some paint in it. This is the lightweight, hold on a minute. This is the lightweight molding by Golden. And it did okay. I'd have to play with this some more for coloring. This was the heavy body molding. And that is... No, that was just the regular molding. Hold on, where is it? Lightweight. Then we have, this is just molding paste by Golden. And then we had the molding paste with paint, which made it so that it thinned it out and it kind of ran. And then over here, we have the heavy bodied, okay, two things. This one, you can kind of see the shimmer in that. This is the glass beads. This is the heavyweight molding paste. And then when you come over here, this was the Champion. And that one is Liquitex molding paste. Okay? That's what this one right here is. And look how defined the bricks are. I like that one. Okay? In my opinion... aside from the lunar paste, okay, lunar paste is my favorite, but aside from that, all right, this was the lunar paste down here. Let me show you. This one here is the lunar paste. That's my favorite. That is definitely my favorite. It doesn't, feels like this isn't dry yet. I think I put too much on there, but that's okay. All right, so just some different mediums, different molding paste, just kind of playing with it to see what I like, what I think I want to use. And I think I've got it down to, I'm either going to use the Liquitex, or I'm kind of partial to the extra heavy molding paste. I like the extra body, and I also like the lunar paste. So all of those. And then I've got a variety of colors in the lunar paste. So, you know, I could do like green bricks, and they don't have to be like brick color bricks. So I don't know how where I'm gonna go with this, but I plan to be on tomorrow. We'll see where I go with this from there. And then this is where we started. Just getting kind of a brick here and a brick here. I think I'll kind of like a graffiti look here for that. I think that'll be fun. But I don't know. We'll see. All right, y'all. I hope that I've inspired you to try some stuff and try some new stuff. So get you some stencils. If you don't already have stencils, you know, start with something simple. And get, you know, I would go for the Liquitex molding paste. But just make sure that you clean everything right after you use it so that you don't gum up your stencils and all of that, and your spatulas and things like that. All right, y'all have a great night. Thanks for joining me. And if you're just hopping on, if you will type in #replay and go back and watch from the beginning. All right, y'all have a great night. I love you. Jesus loves you more. And I'll be on tomorrow. All right, bye.